So then, Sega Forever, Sega's brand new initiative to take old games from their back catalogue, release them on iPhone, iPad and Android for free so that a whole new audience of people can play them. This is what I'm going to be doing today in this video, going through all 5 of the games that have been released so far, starting with the classic Sonic, which has already been out on iOS, Android, for quite a while. They've basically just taken the old version of the app that was done by Christian Whitehead, who's a guy who turned up to Sega and went, you know what, he was a fan and went like, I really like the Sonic games and the versions you've been doing are not very good. How about I do one? And then this game appeared and was a pretty decent port of Sonic, despite the fact that it's got the touchscreen controls, and yes, they don't really measure up to the originals. You can't beat that actual physical controller if you're going to be playing old-fashioned arcade games. However, it does a pretty good job of converting it onto iPhone, and all of these games do have MFI controller support, apparently. Now, that's what they've listed. I haven't been able to test it yet, but they claim that they have. What we're trying to find out is how intrusive the free-to-play payment model is. And the answer is actually not that much. So what they tend to do is, in between levels, you'll get a wee ad which pops up, and it plays for about 25 seconds, but after 5 seconds you can just quit past it, and then you go on to the next level. Importantly, you do not see little pop-up ads appearing while you're playing the game itself during a level. That's nice, I respect that. And you don't get any kind of obtrusive blocks where they suddenly stop play midway through and go, oh, now watch this. It's always in between levels where the natural pause in the game is. And that's kind of fair and reasonable. Of course, if you don't want any ads at all, just cough up a couple of quid, usually about £1.99 or something like that, and you will be able to play the game without any ads from here on out. I should say now that people who've played Sonic and bought the app's now been refreshed with this brand new one, and people are complaining that they can't get their ad-free version back, which seems like a bit of an oversight on Sega's part, but I'm sure Sega must be taking care of that. They can't leave that as it stands. What will happen now is, here you go, a quick ad like this, advertising Angry Birds, and then after 5 seconds or so, a wee cross in the top right-hand corner, I press it, we're back into the game. That's not too bad. For free? Old Sonic games for free? Can't complain too much. Right, let's take a look at something else. Altered Beast. Here's a platform combat game that was, to be honest with you, not ever that great the first time around, but it kind of got something of a name. People think of it when they think of the Mega Drive, and so well, here it is for free. Same deal again with the payment system. You can buy the game for £1.99, or you can watch wee ads in between levels if you want to. Controls, frankly, this is easier in some ways to control than Sonic because it moves that much slower. So even though it's got a load of pop-up buttons, the A, B, C, D, for doing different kinds of attacks and jumps. Come back here, I'm on low attack. Low attack is B. I'll kick you. Kick him in the shins. I've been booted in the face. But it handles fine. Come on. It's a very old, very simple sort of game, and I think a bit clunky and clumsy. People find a certain amount of charm in it. I can't even get to him. I wasn't a big fan of this one back in the day. So what I want to do is some kind of ranged attack, but I can't. Kick him in the shins! I like the kick him in the shins move. That's the move for me. God, that's it. Beautiful there. See, what I'm looking forward to, because I was a Mega Drive boy when I was a kid, I didn't have loads of games because I didn't have loads of money. And you couldn't just copy discs like you could on an Amiga, so I had things like Golden Axe 2, I liked a bit of that, that was fun. I had Echo the Dolphin, even though it was miserable as sin. I quite enjoyed that. I don't know if that's going to appear on here. But get back here! But you can see that this stuff works. Oh, hello. Oh, come on, get back. Will you just die? Thank you. I'm trying to jump punch him, but I'm just going to get mauled by this tiger. Look how high he jumps. Check out the leap on this dude. The moves. See what I mean? It's not like... There's a weird nostalgia for this game that I've never quite understood. It's one of those ones that when you go back to it, you're like, oh, really? This isn't that great. It's no Final Fight. It's no Double Dragon. You know what I mean? But whatever. Moving on. Oh, check it out. It's a cast-off from Robot Wars. Oh, Christ, there's loads of them. Crap, jump, run away. This is Kid Chameleon, which is another platformer from the Mega Drive era. You take control of a boy who jumps inside an arcade machine and then has to survive by collecting loads and loads of gems over and over. That's pretty much it, really. Oh, and he dies. Now, this is good. Oh, see, no advert. That's pretty good. I like that. After a few deaths, you get an advert that pops up that you can once again skip past, but this is what you do. You collect little power upgrades. Sometimes those power upgrade things give you abilities and powers, such as, I'm now a samurai, which gives me an actual attack, which some of the other ones don't give you. You can just jump really high or walk up a hill or something like that. Go! I'm going to see if I can... Oh, nuts! I was going to use my samurai skills on this fool. Do I get one? Oh, it's just a gem. Never mind. Again, it's just a case of getting used to the slightly fiddly controls. You'll notice the last two games have got the same on-screen UI. So we've got this Mega Drive-looking controller and the ABC buttons. This is how they are packaging the Sega Forever games, apart from Sonic, which, like I say, existed beforehand. So we're trying to keep a certain amount of consistency. Oh no, I can't get through here. Well, I need to have one of them power-ups so I can smash through, presumably. Can I just keep... Oh no, just keep jumping. Jump, 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 jump! Go on, go on, go on. Go on! Go on, my boy. Unfortunately, I can't get up there. Oh no, can I wall jump? No, I can't wall jump. I have to admit that I never played much Kid Chameleon. I didn't have this one. Give me a power-up. No, that's not a power-up. Go on. One of these has got to give me something sweet. None of these things are sweet. Oh! Go on, gotta be this one. Ah, you're killing me. Back to here we go. I think these games are going to sink or swim based on whether you have nostalgia for the originals. If you just turn up to these games, like particularly something like this, I don't consider this one a massive design classic. Like, it's cute because I remember it being like around my mates' houses and stuff. I remember seeing it and going, hey, Kid Chameleon, brilliant. But I never owned it, and if you're coming to it for the first time, I suspect you'll look at it and be like, ugh, really? This? This is what you used to play? But yeah, if you're in like your 20s, late 20s or something, then this is what you played. Sorry. This is what games were. Hackety hack hack. But there you go. It works. It functions. I'm getting used to the controls just about. Here we go. Hack through this fool. Much more like it. Ugh! Battered in the face. You get different kinds of power-ups, by the way. It's not just that samurai thing. The idea is he takes control of lots of different video game archetypes. And that's how it works. So yeah, once again, free to download from Sega Forever. What have we got next, though? Another game I didn't own, but I looked at lovingly from afar, Comix Zone, which is a game in which you take control of a character running around actual comic book panels. Think framed, but a lot more violent. It's beautiful. I mean, look at it. Look at the reflections in that water. Look at how it handles. Isn't it great? This one is much more awkward to control, however, because the guy has different stances. So if you drop down, if I walk, if I hit a fraction up or down, he goes into these pre-kick stances, as you can see. And that is a little bit more awkward and shifty. Like, I can't remember how do you get down? Like A, C, there we go, B will get you down. Right. This is one of those ones where if you're a fraction of a millimeter off, oh, don't like the crate, watch out. Yeah, if I try and hit that crate, I'm going to injure myself badly. Yes, so this is about, here we go, pull down. Now, what's the action button? C, B, A, there we go. It's so easy on this to try and move forward and just end up going, and standing there like that by just going a millimeter too high. It's something that you wouldn't have if you were using a real controller. Is this going to explode in my face? I bet it is. Oh no, it's alright, I got away with it. Bam, lovely. Now let's beat the pants out of this grill. Come through. I tell you what, this game looks amazing. What this is sort of making me want to do is get a real controller. And like I say, these games are supposedly compatible with MFI controllers, so you can bypass this touchscreen business if you don't feel it works so well. This one's problematic, I really think, because it's so... I'm going to move forward and I am just... Oh no! Didn't mean to do that. And I'm just accidentally freezing and doing that high kick, because I'm just pushing the button slightly too high or slightly too low, and that's unfortunate. I've done a death. The artist's gone mental in this body of flesh and bone, and that's me high score. However, I want to see when it throws an advert at me. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. There you go, back to the start screen. Start. And all you'll get is when you fire the game up, to start, you'll get one quick advert usually. Let's have a look. Didn't even get one. Look at that. How good. So they're being pretty generous with the free-to-play thing. One other thing is that they won't allow you to save on the device. It's only got cloud saves if you're playing free to play. So be warned, if you're not connected to the internet, then you will not be able to pick up where you left off. But again, it's just trying to encourage you to maybe spend a bit of cash and buy the real game for reals. And finally, those of you of a certain age might remember the Dreamcast game Phantasy Star Online. Before all that business, there was just a more traditional JRPG. This is Phantasy Star 2, which is the final of the Sega Forever apps. So look at this weird old Joker looking fella. Welcome to the Clone Labs. Who would you like to have return to? Oh my, I think this is only if I've done a death. We're both here, we're fine, me and Nee. I'm 2 characters at the minute. I was going to go around and try and talk to folk. Have a wee chat. I used to work at Biosystems Lab, which is on the other side of the lake. Cool story, broheem. Let's go and chat to this lassie. Now, these games kind of work much better than high-speed platformers, for example, on mobile, because they don't really require fast reflexes or anything like that. However, you do still have to be quite accurate with this little controller in the lower left-hand side, because you can quite easily hit up when you mean to hit down. It only works on the 4 points of the compass here. You can't go sideways, diagonals, or anything like that. Only up, down, left, or right. So make sure you're pointing in the right direction. It works fine. Just make sure you're really focusing on the right controller. Again, feel like I'd quite like to have a controller a little bit, but thanks to the Biosystems Labs, motor flourished. Great. Obviously, you can't really do much in 2 minutes in these kind of JRPGs. Suffice to say that the thing does function. You get a wee ad at the beginning, and that's about the size of it. Same as the rest of the games. And to be fair to Sega, this looks like something that's quite promising. It's a great way of introducing old games to the free-to-play audience who may not have ever encountered anything like this before, beyond kind of those niche Steam retro platformers. You know, all those platformers that look old but aren't? These actually are old. So we'd recommend maybe taking a look at them. If you want to chuck them some money, then that's great. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. If you don't, as long as you don't mind cloud saving and the occasional ad in between levels, then you don't have to spend any money, really. So I can't really complain too much about it. Are the controls perfect? No, but they were never going to be. If you really care, you'll be playing it on an old system or getting an MFI controller out. But if you just want to see what gaming used to be like, Sega Forever, fair play to them. Thank you for watching. See you next time.